competent in French, and Madame Hagar proposed that they both stay another half year, even according to Charlotte, offering to dismiss the English master so that she could take his place. Emily had by this time become a competent pianist and teacher. It was suggested that she would stay on and teach music. However, the illness and death of their aunt drove them to return to their father at Haworth. In 1844, the sisters attempted to open a school in their house, but their plans were changed by an inability to attract students to this remote area. So, Emily was very solitary, and she was also a bit of a recluse. And she's kind of a mysterious figure and a challenge for historians to assess. Emily's fellow student in Brussels, she did not seem to have made any friends outside her family. Her closest friend in the world was her sister Anne. Together, they shared their own fantasy world, Gondola, and according to Ellen Nussey, in childhood, they were like twins, inseparable companions, and in the very closest sympathy, which never had any interruption. In 1845, Anne took Emily to visit some of the places she had come to know and love in the 5 years she spent as a governess. But a plan to visit Scarborough fell through, and instead the sisters went to York, where Anne showed Emily York Minster. During the trip, the sisters acted out some of their gondola characters. So, Charlotte Bronte remains the primary source of information about Emily, although as an elder sister, writing publicly about her only shortly after her death, she is considered by certain scholars not to be a neutral witness. Historians believe that there's a smokescreen and argues that Emily evidently shocked her to the point where she may even have doubted her sister's sanity. After Emily's death, Charlotte rewrote her characters, history, and even poems to be more acceptable. And biographer Claire Callahan suggests that the trajectory of Bronte's legacy was altered significantly by Elizabeth Gaskell's biography of Charlotte. So, I have read Elizabeth Gaskell's biography of Charlotte, and if you go to my website, you'll see that I'm a little conflicted, and I don't know how much of Emily I want to glorify. I feel like there's so much that we don't know, and I think that there is definitely a smokescreen, and that Charlotte rewrote all of her siblings' histories because they died before her. And then after Charlotte dies, her father Patrick takes over everything and actually asks Elizabeth Gaskell to write the biography of Charlotte. And reading Charlotte's book, it is interesting, but I do have questions, and some of my questions are regarding Emily and some of the things that she did and her behaviors. And you have to remember that everything is being filtered in this book, so although things are being filtered in this book, some of the things that are being said through filter makes me really question the sanity of Emily as well. I love Wuthering Heights. It's a beautiful story, although to me it's everyone sees Heathcliff and Catherine and they are amazed by this beautiful love story, but is it beautiful love story? And I think that I don't I sometimes I think it's abusive, and that's the truth. So, with that in mind, I want everyone to be aware that some of the things in this book, even as when I'm writing out my overview and I'm going through the book, I am censoring a lot of the words that are used. There's a lot of calling people skin color. There is a lot of calling children it, not and to me that just tells me how at times they really don't see Heathcliff as a human being. And because of the time period we live in today, as I said, I have to filter out a lot of the wording because I find it abhorrent. I can't, it's disgusting to me. And I don't wish to perpetuate any of that. And if you all want to read Wuthering Heights, I showed a picture of what my book looks like. I got it at Barnes & Noble, and you can too. So, with that being said, we'll talk more about the book and Emily and Charlotte and Anne and all of them another day. And I will see you all again soon.